Hey guys, we're back. Welcome back. We're now here in Death Knell with my Pyromancer. Alright, now you notice that if you don't see it clearly, but I'm level 2 right now. So along the way as I traveled and one or two mobs that I hit, yeah, the experience got pushed up a bit. But before I get into all the details with the Pyromancer, just want to say guys, if you have the interest and you get the chance, please go ahead and check out the other videos I put on COA. We just accomplished the Necromancer video, in which we covered a lot of the general abilities and talents, as well as the specializations. Please give them a check out. Let us know what you think of the video, and we do intend to do the same with the Pyromancer. So going forward with that, you do start off with the ability called, and we'll go down right here to Scorching Ray. Alright, that's what you start off with. At least last of what I played, and as of most recent, that's pretty much the same. And I'll go ahead and read this to you. So Scorching Ray, basically it's a 1.5 second cast. You sling a lance of molten flame at an enemy, causing 20 fire damage. So now there's also an added effect here from overheat, which I'll explain. Basically Scorching Ray becomes instant and is guaranteed to critically strike. So that's definitely good to keep in mind. So what is overheat? So that's the next spell, which is right here. You get this at level 2. At first, when I leveled up a Pyromancer, from what I remember, I only got 1 charge. But but overheat has now 2 charges. It's a 10-second recharge, and what happens is it empowers your next spell to trigger its overheat effect. Lasts 10 seconds. Now, I do have several 60 Pyromancers, and in my experience, just a little bit of knowledge ahead of time here, there is a majority, I wouldn't say majority, but it's pretty common enough, yeah, maybe fairly to say majority of my abilities do have an overheat effect across each specialization, which we'll discover a little later. So we're going to hit some free extra mobs real quick, alright, and we're just going to get an idea of what these animations look like. Alright, so let's go ahead and use Scorching Ray real quick. We'll use it on one of each. So let's do the Dusk Bat. About 3 shots, right? So we're going to apply overheat to that now. That was just basic Scorching Ray, kind of like a laser beam effect, which is pretty interesting. Not a whole lot of spells have that appearance, so that's pretty cool. And then we're going to pop overheat and drop a Scorching Ray. And we'll try to, again, we do have both charges of overheat, so we're going to try with both charges. So let's start with a regular cast. Actually, let's start with an overheat. That was a critical strike. And is that the added effect? Yep, it's instant, and it's guaranteed a critical strike. So definitely something to keep in mind, guys. So, yeah, a lot could be said with the Pyromancer. Starting off, one thing for certain, it is largely your go-to mage class, if you will. Largely a lot of their abilities are casted. And yeah, it was pretty fun leveling them up. So I'm here in Death Knell. Figure I changed the scenery up a bit. We were in Mulgore for a little while. And we're going to go ahead and grab some quests, guys, so give us a moment here. Now, one thing I'm noticing with some of the undead mobs, it's not all of them, but just lately, as I've been questing here and around the area, even in what is this? Tirisfal Glades and like what's the other place? Silverpine Forest, where there's a lot of undead. Every so often you'll see a floating undead NPC for some reason. I'm not sure what that is. If that's a recent like glitch or whatever that's going on, or a bug. It's subject to happen in you know, testing phases and whatnot. But I thought I'd just mention that. Something interesting to see each time. Alright guys, alright, here we go. We are back, guys, we are back. We're gonna go ahead and hop on to some of these quests that we got going on. The first one starting off with this guy. My target. yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get used to using the combination of overheat and scorching ray. Pretty cool ability. So I think one thing to mention also with Pyromancer is the fact that this is more or less a fire-only class. You know what I mean? I mean, they got like some other elements going on, but largely it's fire abilities and spell casting, which is pretty cool. It's just like the way you could use one element in multiple different ways. So that's pretty cool. And we do have some dialogue here. Cadmus Emberblaze has summoned me to reach you. Okay, named NPC. He requests your presence as soon as possible regarding a very particular issue he needs solved. He can be found in the large building across from the chapel, I believe it says. So as we just hit level 3, there was no new abilities, just probably some stat upgrades and stuff. Okay, so yeah, one of the cool things is, you know, just in reference, we do have our weapon skills, right? So I would suggest everybody kind of check this out if you're going for transmog kind of style or whatnot. I mean, you can pick ultimately what you want, but these are the weapon skills in which they could equip. But as far as transmog, you decide whatever you like to wear and adjust your character to. This is my transmog. You guys let me know what you guys think on all that. But daggers, staves, swords, unarmed, and wands, and also cloth they could wear. So yeah, just thought I mentioned that. That's your C menu under skills. So I guess you could just press K. You know, to show up. You could also use wands, as we just mentioned. So I'm gonna go ahead and just wand this guy for a moment and throw a critical strike on overheat combined with scorching ray. So let's see if we can continue that again. Wand about twice. Let's see. Just messing around with it. Messing? What am I saying? I'm sorry. Messing. Yeah, we're just messing around with it. So let's see. Wow. Photon cannon. Something like that, I guess. That about does it right there. Pretty interesting. So you could have like some bursty hits with Scorching Ray, which is that could always be appreciated. So along the way we forgot to do the thing. So this time I'm gonna go with Aura and Potion of Experience. Alright? So that way it'll help our buddies as we go ahead and continue to level up this character. Whoever's on my team or whatnot, at least the Aura will always be kicking in. So let's go ahead and drop that right now. And go ahead and have the Experience Potion as well. So once we hand in, there should be more in the lines of some explosive experience. Experience, I guess we could call it, right? I don't know. And just pick something. If you don't have the appearance, I would just suggest picking it. Picking the one you don't got. Was that a double level up? What? That is soup, dude. That is legit. I could hang with that. Alright, let me see. Yo, that was crazy. Hang on. No, the chat is so rapid fire. Like, I cannot actually find, like, my level up stuff. So I'm just going to leave that be. But yeah, we just turned to level 5. I'm not sure if I'm seeing that right. I'm going to have to double check the recording afterward. But, that's pretty cool. Actually, let's leave that as number 1. So we do have a new ability. I don't think anything else popped up, right? So we do have a new ability called Ignite. Alright, so this is an instant cast, 40-yard range. You burn the enemy, inflicting 10 fire damage every 2 seconds for 18 seconds. Alright, so every 2 of those, there's ticking damage. Overheat strikes up to 5 additional enemies, so you basically turn this into a cleave ability. So applying overheat will amplify your Ignite. And again, for Scorching Raid, you have to, one thing I would just encourage, always check the overheat effects, because knowing them will definitely be handy as you experience your gameplay and, adjusting to your own situation. So let's go ahead and pick up some quests, guys. I'll be right back. Also, just one thing to note, guys, in case we didn't go over this at all, but you can consolidate buffs if you choose to on this top right here. Alright, so that's consolidated usually by default, at least when I make a new character or whatever. That's usually consolidated. I would rather see everything I have, my preference, so that's under the buff and debuffs, under interface. Just press OK when you're done. So when you're in the main menu, just go to interface, you'll see it. And so let's grab these quests here. We are over in Death Knell, doing Death Knell like business. Now, if I were to throw around some random kind of lore aesthetic with this whole thing is, I am one of the Tauren that decided to take up, being kind of like a mage, or more so a fire mage, right? So that's something. I think going back to one of the WoW expansion packs in Mist of Pandaria, there was a group of Tauren that, like, were, what do you call it, the Tonka? No, not the Tonka. The Tonka is something else. That's in Northrend. Was the other guy, the Yangul, I guess I'm saying that wrong, but the Yangul. Those guys were fire-wielding Tauren people. Definitely a lot of fire. But yeah, so like maybe my character has descended from a line of Yangul or so, or maybe there was like some knowledge that was passed through the generations, and the Tauren eventually kind of discovered those abilities. So I don't know. I'm just freestyling stuff. I don't know all of the lore 100%, but I like to say I have an idea, and how to puzzle piece some of the lore together with particular class combinations. That's what I like about COA. I guess I figure I mentioned that while we're just kicking it. Yeah, there's the mace that we're always used to getting, although we can't equip it, but that's always here. Yeah, so one thing I like to mention though is just that on COA, one thing I like for a fact in the character creation screen is the idea that you have all these different classes, and not everybody could be everything. So the other race class combinations could kind of fill in. So if you guys haven't seen it, I would recommend please go ahead and check out, when you get a chance, the character customization video. I definitely like the fact that a lot of the classes are unique, and it's not just like available to everybody, you know what I mean? Like certain classes and race combinations still hold like a uniquity. That's what I like. I don't like the fact that everyone could be like everything. I figure I just mentioned that, like, as I'm just going around leveling here. It's not everybody could exactly be the same thing. Yeah, WoW lore has become all sorts of things. A lot of people could say a lot about it. I know I could say a lot about it, but in general, it's there's a lot going on for sure, right? Oh, hang on. Where's my target? I guess he just got stolen. Somebody just took my target. It's alright. It's alright. I see how you all feel. That's how we do things here in Death Knell. Ooh, man, they're on the skeletons. Everybody's on the skeletons. That one's mine. That one's mine. So there's a lot in general I could say that I appreciate about COA. So I suppose, yeah, one thing, guys, if you guys haven't seen it yet, please go ahead and check out the character customization video that I made with COA. The thing is, I don't know, I like story. That's what I like about World of Warcraft. I like the fact that there's a story, and that, these group of people encountered this type of power and have wielded it for this amount of time or whatever, or maybe they just newly started or whatever. But I find it to be, I feel like it tells a better story. The fact that everyone could just be something different instead of everybody always being the same. There are a few classes that everybody could be, such as, I believe, Templar, Ranger, and a few others. A lot of it may make sense, some of it may not, but whatever the case, I mean, it's still good fun all around, knowing that everybody has something unique to bring to the table. So more on this potentially soon, as we can navigate each of the classes and see how they would interact with each of the factions. I think that would definitely be an awesome thing to kind of extend upon. So perhaps more of this at some point soon. Oh, this guy's busy. Let me see what he's doing. There's an item there. That's interesting. Bone meal. So I mean, just talking about it, right? So he made a bone meal here, I guess, or he was working on something. What is this? What's up? Restorative mixture. Restores 150 to 180 mana and 140 to 180 health. Okay. Suiting for a class such as this one, Pyromancer. That would be good. Actually, let's put this on the side. Oh, my bad. So learn from my mistake, guys. That was a consume effect. Yeah, one shot. I thought it was a trinket. Usually those kind of things would be trinkets. No, this is a one-time thing. Yeah, it might respawn. I don't know. Maybe it's a one-time thing altogether. Yeah, but we just learned some new abilities. Now we're level 6. So let's go ahead and check those out real quick. We have it right here, but let me just see if there was anything I was missing. Okay, so Slagstone is one of them, guys. We got Slagstone. It's a 3-second cast, and you hurl a molten rock, smashing into an enemy, dealing 53 flame strike damage. So I think flame strike is like kind of like the name for like physical / fire damage. I think that's the whole thing with that. So let's do something like this. Let's put 2 scorching rays on Q and E. We have overheat ready, and we also have a passive, magmatic. All right, gives periodic damage. A 10% chance to grant slag bending. Can only occur once every 3 seconds. Slag bending. Your next Slagstone is instant cast and costs no mana. All right, so that's pretty cool. All right, so Slagstone does have a chance of basically being instant cast, and yeah, it's pretty interesting mechanic. I think that's about it. Yeah, let's put our rest over. Yeah, we have rest actually. Rest is handy. Rest is handy once the mana starts getting low and stuff. If you don't have potions. All right, so this one's easy here. You just go ahead and grab this. Complete quest. Oh no, that's the other one. Okay, I get my Kodo. Yeah, there you go. You get like your race mount. So let's just go ahead and switch that. Nice. Here you go. I'm doing the torrent thing. It makes sense. Can't enter through the small doors. And we'll complete quest here. And we should be good. Let's see what else awaits us. Marlo's last wish. So I'm walking right now. We're going to go to this area and get Samuel Phipps? Yeah, it's Phipps. Yeah. And then we're going to go back here to get the spiders. Ah, she must be after Samuel Phipps too, huh? Let's see. Hang on. Aw, man, they got him. No! They got him! I couldn't cast in time. I didn't use my overheat. I thought my overheat was good. I must have pressed the wrong thing, but let's get this free bag while we're at it. Yeah, that's a favorite. Everyone knows about that, I think, at this point. But, yep, Dread Satchel. Okay, always cool to have. Make sure you pick one up for yourselves. Hey, what's up, Samuel? Oh, he's after me. He's biting me. Right. Okay. Anyway, so we're gonna put his remains buried, and we'll somehow that still shows. So yeah, one thing to mention though, yeah, if you're looking for like, you know, going back to like Pyromancer being largely a fire mage, you know, if you want anything frost mage oriented to the closest kind of relevant potential class that would be is Rhyme Necromancer. There's definitely a lot of frost mechanics and slows and stuns and whatnot with that class. And yeah, it feels pretty awesome to be a rhyme necromancer. I thought that was like one of my favorite out of all of the specs with necromancer, but I could appreciate all of them too. So deeper in this cave, thought I mentioned to you guys, if you haven't been here in Nightweb's Hollow, there you go. You get this cloak here, so you get a hit rating increase. I think you put that on automatically. Typically you do, but let me see. Yep, silk wrapped cloak. That's what I got earlier. And yeah, so the thing about COA, right? So there's a lot of like different ways of playing and mechanics to check out. I mean, I think that's agreeable with every other class. You know, you could say like, you know, there's a whole lot of things that you like about each one. But there's 21 classes, guys. I mean, this cave is empty. But that's a lot. You know what I mean? And all the mechanics, I mean, half of them have 4 specs, I believe. Not half of them really, but like about near half of them. And some of them have support specs too. So like, I guess what I mean to say is like the support role. It's pretty interesting how that was in there too as well. And how like they are like a different type of DPS. Alright, anyway guys, yeah, we're back. By the way, I thought I mentioned the add-on that I'm using, so you probably noticed like I have a timer here on some of my abilities. You'll see them as I use different items or whatever. That's Omni CC. Alright, pretty easy to use add-on, but it was good to just being able to check my ability cooldowns and see when things are available. That definitely helped my gameplay a bit more. Because sometimes I would press my abilities, I would think like they're like fully charged, and they have like maybe 5 or 10 seconds left. Somehow with just the way the spell looks, it would look like it's finished, but it's actually not. Now, one thing to know about Slagstone, I would recommend mostly to use it when it's available. But if you have the time to cast it, I would encourage you cast it anyways. But yeah, I'm going to learn to refrain from doing that as often, because what happens is basically the cast is long. I mean, this is a 3-second cast. So it does take time to do. I'm still developing a little bit of muscle memory on that. But it's been a little while. Since I played Pyromancer. But yeah, we're at level 7 right now. I don't think there was any new ability that popped up. Yeah, just a rank. Yeah, rank upgrade for Ignite. So we're going to go ahead and do that right now with our book. And let's go ahead and put these remains right over here. And we'll go for a hand-in. And let's see how much experience we bring home. And that was a level up right there. We also learned Slagmend. So this was the one I was talking about, right? Yeah, learning to mount up. Press accept, dismount, and mount again. So the first time you're here, basically you get your racial mount, I think at level 6 or level 5. And that second quest that you get from the same rider trainer, you just basically mount off and mount on again, from what I'm what I'm observing. So we do have to get some scarlet armbands. So let's just see if there's any other quests here that remain. Now I know that there are class quests available, so there will be a time that perhaps we'll go into all that. You know, I would encourage that you guys go ahead and check it out. But last I know is that a lot of them have been a bit glitchy or bugging out a bit. So we're not going to really chase those class quests during these videos. Time will tell, but for now, nah. But here we go. Oh yeah, we're also going to check our new abilities, so let me just get this guy real quick. Alright, so we got Slag Mend over here. It's a 1.5 second cast. What happens is you mend an ally with Healing Flames, healing for 58. Now, if you use Overheat before this, what happens is this will become instant and will affect up to 5 allies, decreasing by 20% per each additional target. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Per each additional target healed. So that's pretty interesting. Something to keep in mind. You could definitely cleave heal with this ability. Just know that the healing will be slightly reduced. So we're gonna move this right to our shift middle click button there, and we're gonna go ahead and continue and get more armbands. Ooh, I used my stomp by accident. So one thing I noticed, I think with OmniCC, depending on your settings, but it has that glow effect that that happens, I think on abilities that are longer than 1 minute. That's just an observation. And almost there with Scarlet Armbands. So it's good to have a heal. That's pretty cool. Slag Stone. Yeah, my bad. Heavy hit though. Heavy hit. Alright, so we're going to go back to town and we'll check you guys soon. So we're going back to the quest that we were doing earlier. Well, the continuation, the Scarlet Documents one. So along the way we did get our rank 2 of Scorching Ray. Alright. So that's something just to bear in mind at level 9. Now this is all subject to change, but at least at the moment, level 9, you do have a rank up. And the other thing cool about this is just the fact that you have the overheat always ready for those surprise attacks. So I could do something like cast here, launch this, overheat, throw another one, and of course I could put like ignite there, so there's 2 people here. Let me just get this guy here. So we need probably just a little bit of time so these guys could respawn. I know there's a lot of people questing around the area, so we may not get that chance right away, so I will hop back in just a moment. And speaking of which, we do have it. Pretty cool. Mevin Corbel is the guy's name. I think there's a rolled quest item drop here. No? What is this? Scrap metal? Hang on. This scrap metal seems irrelevant to you. Okay. That might be for one of those class quests. Yeah. Pretty interesting though. Yeah. One thing I was mentioning earlier is with the character customization, there's something that I kept in mind is like the value of Warcraft lore, right? So for me, I know I always enjoy a good story. These races got access to the classes, and it's pretty interesting, you know, just from a story point. And along with that, I thought I'd make like a bit of a project. And we are at level 10. So we're gonna go ahead and check any new abilities. I don't think we got anything brand new. We did hit level 10, which is pretty cool. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and check the specializations right now. And here we are. So we got 3 specializations here. We got Flame Weaving, Incineration, and Draconic. So these are the kind of Pyromancers you can be. 2 of them is casting damage dealers, while 1 of them is healing. Alright, so I'll read Flame Weaving first, and I'll go toward the right. So the complexity with this class is intermediate. You find solace in the caress of flames, where healing ignites the spirit and rekindles the hope in the heart of battle. So you wear cloth armor, and your primary stat, I would believe, is spirit. So I'll definitely check up on that. So your starting sample spells that you have here is Phoenix Egg. You got Cauterize Wounds, and you got Ember Touch. So that's for Flame Weaving. And then for Incineration, what we got here is the complexity, which is normal. The yellow text says, stoke incinerating flames, burning enemies to a crisp, and leaving them writhing in agony. Sounds definitely painful. So you have Intellect and Cloth Armor. Alright. And your sample spells. So for Incineration, your sample spells are Pyromancer, Incineration. You have Blaze, and Pillar of Flame. Alright, so we got Draconic, another casting damage dealer. Complexity is intermediate. And basically you transform into a Dracthyr and use short-range fire attacks and Draconic breaths to obliterate enemies at close range as a highly mobile magical combatant. So you have Intellect and Cloth Armor, and your sample spells are Draconic Pyromancer, Dragon's Leap, and Draconic Form. So guys, those are the specializations for the Pyromancer. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think of each of these specializations. I find them all to be pretty interesting. Again, I'm a very simple guy, and I know I say that a lot. So yeah, we made our way back to Orgrimmar. We're flying to the crossroads right now, and we're gonna just check out some stuff. Take a look at this structure. What do you think? So guys, yeah, this doesn't look like a safe environment, having a hammock tied to a torch like this. But hey, I'm a Pyromancer, and what could possibly go wrong, right? Also, another easy thing is, if you haven't already, you could take this quest here. It's just additional experience. And just make this in your home. Accept. And that's XP right there. So I thought I just mentioned that. You guys probably encountered that. But still, every bit helps. Well guys, that's about it for the Pyromancer. Pretty interesting class. A lot of stuff going on with it as far as, you know, critical strikes going on, damage over time. And just the specializations alone just leaves you to kind of wonder, you know, what could possibly be next as we expand through each of these specializations. So yeah, definitely a lot to discover. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, from our side, much love and God bless. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. So see ya.
Alright, I'm really getting my groove on. This is a new song. It hits hard, man. I really like it. Yeah, I really like that beat. I really like that. Whoa! 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 Oh my gosh. I love it, man. I just love being a Pyromancer. Just gotta enjoy the things in life, you know?